What is up, everybody? It is Blind Moto Gamer here with you once again, and it is time for another channel update for July 2025. And as of the recording of this video, happy Independence Day. I'm sure you can hear the fireworks bursting and doing their thing in the background. So, happy Independence Day if you're celebrating. I wanted to take this time to go over some things related to the channel and just events and all this, and just kind of have a little discussion with you guys. Um, the first and foremost thing I want to talk about is something new as far as the channel. I know that you guys love it when I go live on the live discussions, and I noticed that the game streams don't get that many views. So what I'm going to be doing with those is I'm going to be streaming over on Twitch at twitch.tv/blind metal gamer. That's twitch.tv/blindmetalgamer. So you can go follow me over there. And I've revamped it up over there a little bit as far as how to get in the chat. You just got to agree to a few rules and abide by them, and you're good to go. So I'm going to be doing that and importing these streams over here to YouTube. I'm going to be scheduling these throughout various times. That way there will be a stream of content coming to the channel, be in the form of playthroughs, in the form of, just other things as well. As far as live streaming on YouTube, yeah, I'll stream on YouTube from time to time as far as gaming, but I'm going to focus a lot on Twitch, because I don't give it enough love and it needs attention to, and I want to give the YouTube or Twitch that. Now, as far as as far as new games coming to the channel, Gears of War Reloaded in August is coming on August 26th. Around that time, I'll be streaming it over on Twitch. I'll be doing an accessibility review and a deep dive for the YouTube channel, so you can look forward to that. Then, as far as continuing playthroughs, God of War Ragnarok is going to be coming. The descriptive audio version, that's coming back. And let's see, what else? There's going to be a lot of other cool stuff. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is a definite going to be coming. That's definitely coming to the channel, both in the form of Twitch exports and live streams. So that's coming. Now, as far as anything non-game related, the podcast, the Blindside podcast with the wonderful and vivacious Kara Super Saiyan, or Kyra Super Saiyan, will be coming back really, really soon. I'm going to be helping her out with a project um, this coming Friday, the 11th, as as of the recording of this video. Then, as far as album reviews, those are coming back. Me and Ninja Terry are going to figure out what to review next and all that good stuff. And then um, there will be more live discussions and live talk streams. I might even do an AMA at some point to see how that goes for you guys. So, and again, there'll be more updates and, little things like I did for the JAWS home manual license users and all that good stuff. So that's coming. Now, as far as like real world events that have been, that's not game related, that kind of have me a bit, I wouldn't say bothered, but that's been on my mind. Uh, the first one, I'm not even going to mention it. The BBB, it passed. So, with that, we don't know how it's going to affect us folks with disabilities. And as you all know, I have a disability. I'm visually impaired. So, I've got to just, think about, okay, how is it going to affect me? Not in the content creation space, but outside of that, because I'm not going to lie, I have a day job. I work, for the government, and what I do is pretty cool. Now, granted, am I still going to talk about accessibility and advocate for it? Yes. Am I still going to provide content for this channel? Hell yeah. Am I still going to do what I do as far as talking about how certain games can be made blind accessible? Yes. I'm still going to do those. And these type of update videos and more. But as far as like the whole stuff going on in Washington and all this, I'm not going to get into the minutia of it. Does it concern me? Yes, it does. But I'm not going to discuss my overall thoughts, my overall views, because I would go into a rage, and I don't think you want to hear me rage. So, yeah, and then as Illegal Excited said, by the way, shout out to Illegal Excited if you're watching this. There was a legislator in Minnesota that was killed, and one I think had an attempted assassination that survived. I'm glad they caught the son of a bitch that did that. And you know what? This might sound like a bit of a rant because that's what it is. I'm glad they caught the fool that did it because now the prick's going to get what he deserves, boys. He's going to get his. My God, karma's going to come and bite him in his ass. And I do want to say, send out my condolences to the family of the victims in that tragic event. To the person that did it, I hope you get just what you deserve, son, because you're going to get it coming to you, boy, and it ain't going to be fun. Now, on to the second thing that I want to talk about, non-game related, tech related. Um, Microsoft announced that Perfect Dark has been canceled, and Rare's Everwilds have been canceled, and the initiative that was working on the new Perfect Dark game has been shut down. And then Turn 10 uh, laid off about 50% of their staff. So this is sad. Now, did they lay off key developers? I don't know. All I know is that layoffs did occur, and a closure occurred. 2 games or more games were canceled. So there's that. Now, this sucks because now that Microsoft is leaning into the publishing side and giving their games the multi platform treatment, this could have been a hell of a thing for Perfect Dark, you know? Um, and Everwild. Now we don't know what, as far as games or whatever is going to happen because, you look at the landscape of the game industry right now, there's not enough indie developers kind of doing their own thing. They're all answering to these mega corporations. So I'll give a good example. Okay. I was having a talk with Misdemeanor Rayburn. Misdemeanor Rayburn and I were talking, and she and I were discussing Borderlands 4 and accessibility because I don't, although I do not work as an accessibility consultant in that space, I do advocate and champion accessibility in my own way by coming on this channel, discussing how games can be made accessible, etc. Now, okay, Borderlands 4. Let's say, for example, someone had ideas, right? It was very angry about the accessibility or lack thereof. Because right now, to be fair, we don't know what Borderlands 4 is going to offer. So let's say someone wrote Gearbox and was very angry and cussing them out and blah, 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 blah. Just insert whatever profanity you want in the email. The game inaccessible, blah, 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 blah. Those developers are going to can it and you're going to file 13 it and say, because they don't want to hear that. It's about like, talking to a politician in a way. You got to be cool. You got to be smooth. You got to do it the right way. Now, granted, does it frustrate me that there are more blind accessible games? Yes, it does, because right now, and I want to give a shout out to the Sightless One, Sightless Plays for this. There's only like maybe 6 or 7 games that we blind gamers can play. Okay, does it does it upset me? Yes, it does. Do I want more games to be blind accessible? Yes, I do. And I right now want to give a shout out to all the consultants that do this kind of work because you guys are out there on the front lines helping these game developers get their games accessible for blind players like myself and others. So, you know, that's a good thing. Keep up the work you all guys and girls do out there. Keep it up. I champion it and I give all of you all a shout out. So, um, what are my thoughts on all the layoffs and all the cancellations? They suck because it's going to affect people's employment. It's going to affect the game industry. And right now, the game industry is being murdered, as Illegally Sided put it, because all these big corporations are taking over and they're telling them what to do. And like, I'll give another example. Ben Studios, Days Gone remastered. Okay, I was looking forward to make, and I'm using my own personal experience, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's gonna have a screen reader. Yeah. What about Navisyst? I look up Victor Dima's channel, Victor Blind Journalist, and I noticed there was no, there was probably, plans or ideas for other features like the Navisyst, but I'm sure the publishers, the fat cats in charge said, you get this out the door and then close up shop. Because that's how that works. The publisher says, you got X amount of time to get it out the door and then close up shop. Now, again, I want to give a shout out to Sightless Plays. He explained to me that games like Madden and college football use their own screen readers and it reads the whole screen, which is a good thing. Now, am I going to get into college football in that? I don't know. I may feel froggy. I might feel froggy and give it a shot. You never know what I might do. But, like, I'll give another good example. The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 have their own screen readers involved. They don't use the console screen reader. They use its own, and it reads everything, which is good. Now, again, the whole layoffs and the cancellations, they suck. Because it's going to affect a lot of people, not only on the gaming, the consumer side, but on the employment side as well, because jobs are going to be dissolved. And I would like to say to anybody that's affected by these things, I wish you all nothing but the best and that you can land on your feet and find good jobs in whatever career you choose to go into. Now, next, I want to talk about something that is cool, I'm looking forward to. Um, and although I won't be able to be there because I didn't purchase a virtual ticket, uh, for all the rock and metal lovers, such as myself, the final concert of Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath will be taking place tomorrow, July 5th, and it will be streamed. And they did kind of a pay-per-view situation where you have to buy a ticket. It's only like $30. They might be sold out, so you might not be able to get it right now. But I'm sure they're going to release that on Blu-ray or something. Maybe down the road, you never know. So, okay. Another thing I want to talk about, as far as why I'm moving my streaming back over to Twitch. I want to give that more love and more attention. Don't get me wrong, I love YouTube and I love streaming for you guys, but for what I want to do is I want to make sure you all have content. And if there's a day that I got things going on outside of the content creation space or the streaming space, I want to make sure you all are covered, and that's what I'm going to do. So, to kind of round out this update for July, I hope everybody is staying cool and safe. I hope, as far as like what am I looking forward to at the end of the month, there's some cool things coming. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep my eyes on. Um, but for the most part, I hope everybody either has or had a happy and safe Independence Day. You're staying cool and safe. And I want to let everybody know, don't worry, these vlogs will keep coming. And if you like what you hear and you want more, subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video, the next live stream, and with more great content coming very soon. Until next time, I've been Blind Metal Gamer saying so long and peace out.